Yo, what's up, YouTube? So it's just I've just noticed something. Like I really looked at it today. I know I haven't been on in a very long time, and trust me, you did not want me to try and make a video in the house I am living in right now. It's so many people. It's super loud. Too many babies. Too many kids. Trust me, you don't want it. So I realized that 92, at least 92% of people aren't subscribed to my channel. And I was just like, come on, mess with your boy. Come on, man. Just subscribe. Could you please subscribe to my channel? You know, you know, like the videos. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this video is gonna start shortly, and I also got a new intro. Tell me if you like it in the comments. All right, see you.
Two, fight!
You will not defeat me. You will not defeat me. Kill me. Kill you, I'ma kill me. Go ahead and wish me dead. Don't I collapse? Go ahead and wish me dead. Don't I collapse? Go ahead and wish me dead. Don't I collapse? Go ahead and wish me dead. Don't I collapse? Go ahead and wish me dead. Don't I collapse? Go ahead and wish me dead. Don't I collapse? Go ahead and wish me dead. Don't I collapse? Go ahead and wish me dead. Don't I collapse?
Go ahead and wish me dead, so I collapse. Go ahead and wish me dead, so I collapse.
All right, so yeah, that was the intro, and if you liked it, yeah, if you liked it, well, that was my homie actually made that for me, and if you actually would like to get an intro, if you would like one, um, I would put his Instagram and his YouTube link in the description, so you can go talk to him, get you one yourself. So yeah, now let the video start. All right, so yeah, this is gonna be a new whatever I'm doing. This is what a deku was a true alpha. Now, before that video, before I get into the what if, I have to give you a little something to explain, like what the freak, like how is this? Is not gonna be a quirk. This is gonna be like this is gonna actually be like werewolf. Um, this is actually gonna take There's actually gonna be a few people. If you have seen the show Teen Wolf, this is where I'm getting it from, and if you like have like seen it before, you would know how a true alpha becomes. And if you haven't, I'll explain right here. So in Teen Wolf, you have the alphas and the betas and omegas, but you see, you become an alpha, either you take it or kill someone else for the power. But to become a true alpha, you have to have the strong will and pure heart to become a true alpha. Now, Deku, we all know he's pretty much the freaking truest of them all in that show. And he has a very good will. He wants to become a good hero. So, he's gonna be a pure blood. He's gonna be a pure blood. Like his like way back, his ancestors used to be a werewolf. When Quirk started to form, the genetics in the werewolf started to change around a little bit. And and they also say most even purebloods from werewolves don't actually become werewolves. That's something. So yeah. So let's start the what if. Oh, another thing. Um, you tell me, who do you want to get one for all? Like, I think of giving it to Deku, but if you think about Deku, is kind of already gonna be overpowered. He pretty much is, due to how werewolves work. The angry you are, the stronger you get, and he can get very strong. If you think about it, if he gets, well, you'll see what I'm gonna do. So he's gonna be a hero, of course. So yeah, I'm gonna start the what if. So Deku is right now about, this is during the start of when Bakugo get his quirk. So as Bakugo awakened his quirk, and he started setting off explosions and everything. The teachers all swarm around Bakugo, all the kids, they all saying, "Wow, that's such an amazing quirk there, Bakugo. You're gonna become a great hero." Now this is before his little ego started to shoot out of space into the heavens. But luckily that's not gonna get there yet. So Deku's also going over there. I should not just say Izuku. Well, whatever. Izuku. Somebody just calls me Izuku now. Izuku starts to get over there, and he also commented on Bakugo too. Like, wow, that's an amazing quirk, Bakugo. And well, Bakugo. Well, Bakugo started saying, well, yeah, it's an amazing quirk. I really want to. I'm gonna become the number one hero. And Deku says, and oh crap, I guess that's really a habit now. I guess it's really a habit for anybody who's seen My Hero. Well, Izuku says, well, I'm going to become the number one hero too when I awaken my quirk. And Bakugo says, well, I guess we're gonna be rivals to see who's gonna become the number one hero. And they just start laughing. And then Deku starts to he's really like getting real pumped up to become the number one hero now that he sees Bakugo's quirk activating, like manifesting everything. He's really getting super pumped, like blood rushing, heart is pounding, and he's really getting super excited. So he's getting very, very, very excited. And as that excitement keeps rushing and rushing, his eyes keep flaring. They just start flaring and flare like in and out. They start turning yellow and in and out and then yellow and out. Bakugo is looking at these like, Izuku, what's wrong with your eyes? Izuku's like, what you mean? What you mean what's wrong with my eyes? And then they just keep flashing faster and faster of yellow. And then he's like, your eyes, they're flashing like yellowish. And then he says, are you sure? And he said, and then next thing you know, they just start fading into red. They just start like a blood crimson red. And Bakugo says, now they're red. Then he says, Bakugo, yes, teacher, something's wrong with Izuku's eyes. And the teacher goes over and look at Izuku's eyes and says, Izuku, your eyes are red. I think you may have manifested your quirk. And then it's like, is that all to you? And then he's like, what, my eyes? He's like, that's all to my quirk. And then Izuku, Izuku starts looking around. He starts looking as his eyes are keep turning and flashing in red. The effect of the wolf sight starts to manifest. He starts seeing more clearly. Like it's more everything he can see now. It's like he can grab a pin and throw it at the wall and literally get precise on where he's trying to hit. But Izuku is not like that. He's not gonna try that. Whatever. So, and then that's when he says, well, what else? What else? They try to see what else could his quirk do. Ask one of the teachers going call his mom. He's sitting there and his eyes are still doing like trying to put the wolf into him, trying to make it all situated. It's still forming, like it's still coming in. And what Deku started doing is like he started like saying, well, I want something like he was like, well, it's not as flashy as Bakugo's explosions. And he says, well, and he throws his hand out like, man, I want something like that. And well, his claws pop out, and he's looking like, whoa. And then Bakugo comes over and says, Deku, your hand, Izuku, your hands, those claws. And he says, wow. And then they start supposed saying, whoa. And they're kids, so they're not gonna take severity in. Like you're not gonna really be focused on like, whoa, he has like they're only focused on like he has claws now. And then so now Deku is like messing around with his claws, drawing things on the wall and the floor, and the teachers are they're still waiting on Deku to they're still waiting on Izuku's mom to get here, and Izuku's mom to get there, and they also called Bakugo's mom, and they both take their kids there at the same time. They both sit and they get the same doctor. They're friends. They wanted to keep themselves close to each other, so maybe it helped them in their quirk performance. So, they get there. The doctor, uh, the doctors check out Bakugo, and Bakugo, they tell him he has an explosion quirk. Anything, pretty much the nitrogen. I forgot what it was. Like acid. I forgot the name for it. Well, they tell him that there is like a small compound in there wherein if it's made of his sweat and he can ignite them and make explosion through his hands. And they can be very powerful. They could be very powerful. It's just he needs to control them. He could hurt himself or hurt someone else. Now, it is down. Bakugo is still there. And they're with Izuku now. Him, his mom, and Bakugo. They're right there with Izuku. And the doctor says, well, Izuku, they tell his mom and Izuku, they says, well, Izuku here, young Midoriya, he shouldn't have a quirk. And he says, and Miss Midoriya is like, what do you mean he shouldn't have a quirk? Oh, and Deku's claws are still out. He really doesn't know how to pull him back in yet. So he's like, well, you see, over the years, us scientists have learned and studied that most of the population with quirks only has one joint in their pinky toe, and if you don't have this one joint in your pinky toe, you're most likely to not get a quirk. Well, and he says, well, my son here does have a quirk. He said, yes, that is the anomaly here, and I guess your son is just a rare case, and we've decided to test your son. We tested him. We've seen a lot of feats from him. Now flashing in. Now we're gonna flash into Deku's quirk examination. So Deku's claws, like I said, they were still out, and the doctors are seeing this. Deku's eyes aren't flashing anymore. So the doctors they're looking at his claws. He's like, Deku, Izuku, yeah, and Izuku answers like, yes. And he says, could you try and slice? Could you like try and slice this piece of wood, please? It was a wooden board, and Izuku's like, okay. So he pulls his hand back, and he sliced the wood. It goes straight through, no, no stops, no nothing, just slice straight through. And then it's like, wow, he must got them claws must really be strong. Cause a little kid with claws like that, slicing through some wood, like like a wood like that, yeah, it must be insane. So then they bring out a like a tougher piece of wood and ask him to slice through that, and he slices through it with ease. So then they bring up some what was it called? Like a little bit of like some concrete, but it's not like that heavy concrete. It's like concrete. So they asked him to slice through it. He sliced it through it, but it took a little bit more out of him to get through it. So they get a basis of where his strength is at. He's able to get through concrete and everything, where his claws and stuff at. And then they actually needed to test his strength. So they get like a they tell him they get like a punching thing, and you know they tell him to go all out, use all your strength. And then he punches it, but and it says a meter on how strong it is. It goes to 2. And they're like, Izuku, are you really trying? And Izuku's like, I am trying. They tell him to punch again. He punches it. He only gets like 4. Because Izuku, you have to actually try now. Izuku starts getting frustrated and angry. He starts saying, I can do better than this. I want to be number 1 hero. I can do it. I can punch it. I can get a greater score. He leans his arm back. His eyes glow red. He punches it, and he actually destroys the meter. And then the doctors are looking at this, and they're fascinated. It's like, wow. And they decide to do it again, and then they decide to do it again. And before they do, they say, Izuku, what were you feeling during that moment? He's like, I was feeling anger, frustrated. And he was like, okay, I think we understand it now. And they saw his eyes glow red. He said, Izuku, could you make your eyes glow red again? He's like, I can try. Izuku closes his eyes, and he opens them, and his eyes are glowing red now. And he says, Izuku, how's your vision? He says, well, it's a lot better now. I can really see. I can see very far away. I can also see that pin in your pocket. And and the doctors are like, wow, he must have really good eyesight. And but the doctors actually whispered that to the other doctors, and he was like, and Deku says, really, I really do think I do have amazing eyesight. And the doctors look at Izuku's like, this kid probably just don't. He must have another quirk that's probably hidden now, because this man has a lot of abilities. This kid has a lot of abilities. So then, they test his hearing. The doctor actually mutters instead of whispering. He mutters. He says, Izuku, repeat after. If you hear me, repeat after me. 5297. 5297. Say these numbers. Izuku says, And he just says 5297. And you're like, wow, that's amazing. So they get the basis of his quirk, and then they retest the strength thing. he says good feel the anger again, a little frustration, and then he feels it. He feels it. He wants to be number one. He don't want to get. He don't want to be, you know, left behind. He punishes it, but he doesn't destroy it because it wasn't. He wasn't as frustrated before. He's trying to control it this time, so he doesn't destroy it. He actually did like surpass the thing again, but he didn't destroy it. It was a reasonable amount, and um, they now we're going back to the present. So they tell him, says, well, your son, he has multiple different type, like versatile to his quirk. Well, you see, he has good hearing, like very excellent hearing. He also has super strength. He also has super strength in the claws. He also have. Deku's now finally figured out how to put his claws back. He started to breathe and let them flow back in. So the doctor begins to keep explaining. He said, he has the, and his claws. They're also very strong. They're just as strong. There's enough to cut through concrete. And he says, well, maybe when he gets older, they might be even be able to cut through steel. And they also says, well, and also your son, he also has very good eyesight. His eyes will glow red, and when his eyes go red, his eyesight will change drastically, and he will also be able to see things that are very far away and things that you should never be able to see. And he also can see, they also figured this out, he can also see heat signatures. And oh, and I forgot to say this. Ah, man. During that time when he destroyed the meter, his fangs actually popped out. And after that, they went back in. So then he says, well, he also had these fangs. Well, we never did bring him out again, but I'm pretty sure that this also results to his anger. And he says his anger. And Miss Midoriya says his anger. Says yes, you might want to try and like to keep him. Make sure that he learns how to control his anger and everything before he starts to use his quirk, because we found out that his quirk actually somewhat resolves around anger. The more anger he gets, the stronger he gets, the more powerful his quirk becomes. His strength and everything, and his ferocity. So you might want to get him to learn that. And Deku and Bakugo are actually hearing this. They're not really paying attention to the anger part and everything. They're actually focused on the power part. And Bakugo, since he's not such what's the word, dick yet, see, he's actually a nice boy at this time. He's actually talking to Deku. He's actually talking to Izuku, and he's saying, wow, Izuku, I knew something had your quirk has to be something amazing. You couldn't just have them flashy eyes. And Izuku says, yeah, I was hoping that I had some other amazing quirk. Now I guess now we both can try to see who will become the number one hero. Or why not we both try to become the number one hero at the same time. And it's like, then Bakugo says, no way, I wanna try and get better than you. I wanna surpass you. And Izuku says, well, bet. Let's see who becomes the number one hero. And they all set out their dreams they both leave, and they set out their dreams to become the number one hero. Now, the doctor, everyone knows, if you have not read the manga yet, I'm not gonna say anything. Definitely not. If you have not read the manga, or you're not as caught up. So now they get back home. Mitsuki, dang it, I something Mitsuki and Miss Midoriya, they go back to her house, and they let the boys go upstairs and play, figure out their quirk on their own a little bit, since they heard the basis of them. They let them figure it out, and they're downstairs just in case if something happens and anything. And well, Bakugo begins to start to figure out his explosions, how to ignite them and everything. And Izuku is figuring out how to flow out his claws. He's now figuring out how to bring them out and all of that. And then Bakugo actually accidentally slips up, and he blasts and hit Izuku's arm. And that's not that since they're kids, he's panicking. Bakugo is panicking, like, no, I didn't mean to, Izuku. But then he looks at Izuku, and Izuku was like in pain a little bit, but the parents didn't hear him because he didn't get too loud, as he felt that the pain was actually dwindling away. And since the pain started to dwindle away, the wound on his arm started to heal. It wasn't a serious injury. It was like maybe first degree. That's it. He started to heal, and he says, whoa. He said, and then Bakugo says, does it still hurt? He said, Izuku says, no, I don't feel no pain. I guess another part of my quirk. Yes, well, I'm not gonna bother my mom with it. And he said, and then Bakugo says, maybe I should learn to control my quirk, this like train. And see, this time he really had something to really get him to start training his quirk, if you get what I'm saying. So then Bakugo and Midoriya decided to say, why don't we train together? Why don't we just make sure that we become strong and learn how to use our quirk? So in the future, we'll be able to become greater heroes, and we know how to use them more effectively. Now they may be little kids still in a young grade, but they still have a mindset of like trying to become better at what they're doing since, and they're both still fans of All Might, you know, and well, it's it's way easier for them to see, because if they're fans of All Might, they're deciding to work even harder to get All Might's place. They have a see, they can see that that is what it takes to be the number one hero, and they both have the notion that they smile, smile, need to protect the people and show them that you are here. So, over the years of them training, I think they was in wait, how old were they? They were like four, I believe, 4 or 5 when their quirks awakened. So, like eight, like time skip like 3 years. They actually have been training. They've been honing their abilities and skills, and Bakugo has able to make reasonable size explosions. They can be very lethal towards any other person. He's also learned a little bit how to control it a little bit. He cannot control it fully sometimes. Izuku has now learned how, since he's now proficient enough with his claws. He's also learned a type of fighting style with his claws, and now he's also now way more proficient in controlling his eyes when they glow, and also his hearing. Now, what I did not give him, that you all may know, is his transformation that you would see, when his hair starting to grow. I'm not gonna give him that yet, just yet. So, um, now that since they are 8, and and their training regimens, they're actually training their body as well, not just their quirks. They know that some over the time, Izuku, he's still a superhero. He's still a nerd, not a nerd, but like a fanboy of all types of heroes. So he realized that a lot of these heroes have amazing quirks, but sometimes, we also see a lot of heroes with canceling quirks. And what happened if they cancel out quirks? What happened? What you think? And then that's when he says, Bakugo's like, man, you're right. Maybe we should train. So they started that they were doing 3 years of training. Now, now we're gonna time skip 3 more years. They're 11 years old, and they're like on their edge of going to middle school now. And as going to middle school, they're like, I think this at the start of their middle school career. Yeah, it's at the start. 3 more years have gone past. Izuku has now proficiently learned his style of fighting with his claws. Also learned his own type of fighting style with his claws, but both of them has also taken up a martial arts class. They have learned Taekwondo and also Taijutsu, trying to perfect their skills. And well, uh, Izuku has now learned how to bring out his fangs, his teeth, and he also has learned how deadly they are, so and lethal. So he sometimes chooses not to bring them out. And also Bakugo, yeah, I'm not telling you this, but Bakugo is not that much of a dick in, like, as he was in canon. He's not as, perky or as arrogant as he used to be. Well, but he still has this notion of, well, my quirk is kind of, way a little bit better than yours. And then he also sometimes lifts other people up with good quirks that even though they're not fully awakened yet, he noticed this now. That not a lot of people quirks have fully awakened, so I can't really judge them about it. Like if a person had a water quirk and he was like, well, one day you could probably be able to summon a tsunami or something. I mean, you just need to keep training. That's the kind of person Bakugo is. And he's trying, but sometimes he would get very, very, very hostile if you test Izuku or himself. You know, protecting up for each other, protecting each other, and well, now as you can see that you're thinking now, Izuku considers Bakugo part of his pack, and what Bakugo also do. He also considered him his family, so it's also equal to the pack. So what Bakugo is now part of his pack. And well, even though he may not be a werewolf, this is possible. So Bakugo is now part of Deku's pack, even though they're only 11 years old in the start of the middle school career. Now, fast forward like two years later, they're now third. No wait, I'm sorry, 3 years. They're now 14. They're now 14 years old at the end of middle school, and the teacher. This at the start, actually, the start of the anime. The teacher actually he asks them um, what they're gonna do when they get older, and he throws some papers in the air, tell them that they all know they're gonna become heroes. And what I did not get was most of them kids in the classroom. Bakugo was not wrong. What the were they gonna do? Like it was this one guy with he was able to pull his eyes out of his head. Like who's he gonna save with that? I'm sorry. Like come on now. So yeah, then he reads out that Bakugo, man, like really, who is he going to save? So um then the teacher also says, yeah, well, yeah, you do have very good grades. You score ahead of everybody in the physical, and you're very intelligent students. He said you may have a shot of going to UA, and they both and Bakugo and Izuku look at each other, and they both get a slight smile. Now, crap, okay, stupid. So yeah, now Izuku is going. Yeah, Bakugo does not call Izuku Deku at all. He does not bring that up. He does not test it. He does not try it because he definitely knows what's gonna happen if he tried it. And he's also a sweet person this time, a reasonable person this time. So it's the end of school. Bakugo asks Deku, "You wanna come over?" I'm sorry. "You wanna come over and train with me today?" And Izuku was like, "Well, no, I'm kind of feeling a little tired right now. I want to go home and just lay there and lay down." Crap. Oh my lord, what the heck was that? And he says, "I just want to go and lay down." And Bakugo was like, "Okay, see you tomorrow." And Izuku takes the long way home, as usual in the anime. And when he goes through the tunnel, he feels like he's like being watched, and when he feels like he's being watched, he does not like that. He gets on guard, he brings out his claws, and the sludge villain, actually pops up out of the sewers, and he tries to attack Deku. Izuku. He tries to attack Izuku, and Izuku jumps back with quick reflexes and jumps off the wall and goes to slice at the sludge villain, but he goes right through him. And Izuku steps back, and he's like, well, my claws can't hurt him. What am I supposed to do? And Izuku's just like, okay, and he looks at the sludge villain. He said, his eyes. And he goes and charge at Izuku goes to charge at the sludge villain's eyes, getting one of them and slicing it. And the sludge villain actually gets angry. He actually catches Izuku and pushes him in and pulls him in. And as he pulls him in, he's trying to take his body and everything. Izuku is actually breaking out using strength, all his strength and everything, and it's actually enough to trying to pull him out a little bit, but he's getting pulled in, and he's actually surviving it. but it's like he's getting angry and angry. And we know, like I said, we know what happens when he keeps getting angry. Basically, he has infinite strength, if you really think about it. So he keeps getting angry and angry. He's pushing out. He's pushing out. His eyes are going red. His ears are getting pointier, like they're shaping up, and his nose begins to force like deform down a little bit. His hair starts to grow out of his side of his face, and then his eyes begin to glow, and then that's when he just roars, and like it's very loud, and it echoes through the all throughout the town, all throughout the city, and through the tunnel and everything. And well, a lot um a lot of people in the city actually hears the roar. Some people in the city actually hears the a lot of people all the people here in the city hears the roar, but some other people has different effects to hearing the roar. The eyes begin to glow. The eyes begin to glow, and they all think like, is that a roar? That's a roar of an alpha. And Izuku he breaks out and jumps out of the sludge villain, getting into like a stance like he's really finna some stuff up, really. And and then All Might comes down and says, "No, have no fear, for I am here." And he says, I think it was Texas, right? And he shouts, "Texas smash!" And he the sludge villain splatters everywhere. So the sludge villain splatters everywhere, and everything is okay and everything. Izuku does not get does not pass out or anything, but he is like feeling that anger building up, and over the years he has been his mom actually took the doctor's advice, got him some help in controlling his anger and to use it wisely. But this time he actually exploded with it during the time of him almost dying. Like, come on now, what did you think was gonna happen? What, him was just gonna say, maybe I should just calm down, maybe I should just let it happen? No, like, what the so um so yeah, All Might comes next to Deku, thinking it's like, this kid, he's very strong. He is actually able to break out of this sludge villain's grip. Maybe he would be a good candidate for One for All, but I don't know. Maybe I should keep looking. And he asks Izuku, he says, "Kid, are you okay?" Izuku is still in his werewolf form, and Izuku is just panting. He's panting, and just he's trying to breathe. Breathe comes up down, and All Might's looking at him, is like, "Kid, are you okay?" And Izuku says, "Yes, I'm fine. I just need to calm myself down. I was just so I can calm myself down." And All Might is like, he understands. He's like, "Yeah, the kid just went through something like this, so he possibly have to calm himself down." His ears begin to form back to where they used to be. The hair goes off his face, and his eyes go back to normal, and his claws go back in. And he says, and then Izuku finally realized. He says, "Wait, All Might?" And he just shook. He just shocked, and he says, "All Might, All Might, All Might, wait. Could you tell me I know what?" Hey, and he said, All Might's like, "Sure, no problem, kid." And then that's when he signs and he says, "Wow, cool." And then, but I'm gonna do this. And so All Might then says, "Yeah, I gotta go, kid. But yeah, maybe you should go to try out for UA, and then you have an amazing quirk." And then that's when Izuku says that, "Well, I am applying for UA." And says, "Well, I hope to see you there." And then Izuku says, "Well, you hope to see me there." And then that's when All Might says, I'm leaving." Izuku says, "Wait, I have a question." And then he hops on top. He grabs on the All Might's leg, and All Might is surprised. He says, "Hey, kid, get off. And he says, "Well, I can't. If I do, I might die." We all know he's not gonna die. He may break a few bones and they're gonna heal or something. They're gonna heal, but he won't die. So, um, Izuku, Izuku is still holding on. All Might says, "Well, just hold on tight." They land on top of a building. He says, "Kid, that was very dangerous what you have done. You could have died." He says, "Yeah, but I needed the actual question." He says, "Make it real quick, kid." And he says, Izuku, well, don't get me wrong, Izuku already has the notion that he can already become the number one hero. He wants to see what the number one hero himself would say. And he asks All Might, he says, All Might, I was wondering, I just wanted to ask, do you think with a quirk like mine, do you think I could become the number one hero? And All Might says, well, I don't really know the basis of your quirk. And he says, well, I have super hearing. I also have very good vision. I also have very very um enhanced and healing abilities where I can literally cut myself and it would just heal automatically. I can get a tattoo, it can heal automatically. That's just an example, you know. Izuku's not dumb. He knows that tattoos are like scars, so yeah, he realized that. So and then he says, well, I also have these claws. They can cut through. Well, now Deku is like 14, so now he's on like his claws can now cut through like a higher version of like concrete. And he's also cut through copper and steel. But if he tries hard enough, he can cut through steel. If he tries very very hard, he can cut through steel. I'm not trying to make him too OP, not yet. So then All Might says, and then he says, and then Deku says, well, and I also have this. I also have strength, like very super strength. I feel like it's infinite. And All Might's intrigued. He says, wait, infinite? And he says, what do you mean by infinite? Well, you see, my my anger, it controlled like my anger. If I didn't control my anger, if I didn't learn how to do this like years ago, by now I would be a ticking time bomb. And my anger would swell up so much that and my power would grow so immense that I would possibly, if I had like was getting very very angry, I possibly could have been able to take out a couple of the world, couple of the top 10 heroes, a couple of top 10 heroes of how angry I was. You have to very much to do me, but don't worry, I've learned to control it years ago. I have full control over it. That's what you saw in the tunnel. Me actually pulling it down. And he says, well, and Almond's intrigued by this. He's fascinated by how versatile and how strong this kid's quirk is, and it's very, very weird in a way. And he says, well, I do believe you can become one of the, I believe you can become one of the top three heroes, the big three heroes, but you're gonna need to train very, very hard to get to the number one spot. Your quirk is very, very strong, and I can see that. And yes, I do believe you can come in number one, but I don't think that you're gonna come that number one without that serious and vigorous training. And Izuku understands that, and he says, yes, sir. And but All Might runs out of time, and he poofs into his small Might form. And Izuku says, All Might, wait, are you an imposter? And then All Might clarifies, said, no, 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 I'm the actual All Might. Um, and then he sits them down and he explains about the wound he got years ago. And Izuku's actually feel bad for All Might, and that he only can do a few hours worth of hero work. And he says that's not fair. And All Might says, well, you know, life isn't fair, kid. And you gotta learn that someday. And then he says, yeah, you're right, All Might. But then All Might realizes, he says, wait, the Sludge villain, I don't have no more. And he says, no. And they hear an explosion. Deku and All Might runs. They run down the stairs, and they get there. And Deku, and then he sees fire. Izuku, dang it, I kept saying Izuku. Now is that he gets there. He rushes to the front, and then he see all these all flames, and he sees explosions popping off, and he says, and then he see all these heroes just sitting there. He says, and he sees someone in the Sludge villain's grasp, and he says, well, all these heroes just in there. But then he looks closely, and he sees that it is Bakugo, and Izuku loses his shit. He's now getting way more pissed off now. He's getting heated, very heated. Like he's starting to transform now. He's really starting. His ears starting. His the hair starts forming. His claws gonna get out. His teeth spike out. It's pulls out. I guess we say it like that. Push out, and then he jumps in. And he roars like he just like he howls. He roars, and then he rushes into battle. And it was people down the street from there, and they hear the roar again, the same roar from, I would say minutes, like at least like 10, 20 minutes ago. That's not a reasonable time span between that. All Might telling the story. No, I would say like a half an hour, like yeah, like an hour ago. I would say an hour. Yeah, that's reasonable. That's pretty reasonable enough. An hour ago, and they actually wanted to see who this alpha is. They want to see who this alpha is. So they head down there, but back to Izuku. Izuku rushing in, the hero's trying to stop him, telling him, "No, kid, you'll get hurt." And he rushes in, and he's angry at the Sludge villain. The Sludge villain is now afraid, scared, terrified of Izuku. He's not even thinking that he has a hostage in his hand to try and stop him. But even if he does, he knows he's still gonna die. He's gonna get hurt, and he drops Bakugo. Izuku, he sees Bakugo, he grabs him, and he says, "Sorry for this." He throws him over there at the villains. I mean, at the why did I say villains? At the heroes. He throws them over there at the heroes, and the heroes are like, "Well, he got the Sludge villain is really that terrified of that kid." And Izuku, his anger is feeling his strength and is feeling it. And to the point where wind pressure is able to be formed with his punch. He pulls his hand back and he's a fan of All Might, so he has an attack plan for it. He says, "Detroit Smash," and he punches the Sludge villain, not creating a tornado or anything, you know, but he creates a very high wind pressure, hitting all the heroes and the citizens, and it splatters the Sludge villain all across the building. It puts out most of the fire, and the heroes are most of the water, what was his name? I don't know his name, but he was like a firefighter hero. He had a water quirk. He's able to go in there and put out the fire. I really just realized that. Why didn't he go in there and put the fire out? Even though Pago he still had a chance to put the water out, put the fire out. Anyway, he could have done that. Well, so now, uh, Izuku is still in his werewolf form, and the werewolves, well, the people that was down the road actually got there, and they see this 14-year-old boy with red eyes. That's a werewolf. He says, "Wait, that's the alpha? Like, what? He's so young. Like, who could he have killed for this power?" That is just coursing through their head, like, such a young age. Like, wow. And they know of their lifestyle that it is possible for a kid of his age to be a killer, but to kill an alpha at this age. So, yeah, they see this power that he's just shown, and they all like notices that, and All Might actually looks at this, and he's very much considering that uh, Izuku Midoriya takes his quirk, but like I said, I'm leaving that up to you guys. So now Izuku has calmed himself down, and he's now back to his regular state. He walks out, and All Might now pops up, and he said, and they're all like shouting All Might. He says, "No, you guys should be praising this kid right here. He did what none of these other heroes could. He went in there and saved that boy." And everybody's just looking at Izuku, and they start asking questions, but Izuku leaves, and he's gone. And got Bakugo. He's actually getting swarmed by most of the heroes too. He's getting swarmed by most of the heroes, telling him that's an amazing quirk he has, and he should actually train more. He should train a lot and become a good hero. And Bakugo's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." And then he sees Deku. He's not there anymore. He's walking down the street, and five people comes in front of him, and they looks at him, and Izuku gets a strange feeling. He said he could feel there's something similar about them to him, and he says, "Who are you guys?" And then they all say that we're just like you, and their eyes glow, but like three of their eyes glow yellow, and the other two glow blue. And Izuku's like, "What? This can't be." and he's just cursing through his head. He's like, no, 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 like, wait. He's just like, no, Quirk's not mumbling. He's just mumbling. The Quirk's gonna be, they can't be the same thing. Could they be relatives? Could they know? And it's just he's just doing that. Is doing that in front of these five people, and they're just like, really, this kid's the alpha. Are you serious? So that is where I'm gonna leave this what if off. And well, you could like, comment, subscribe if you want to. You know, I would appreciate if you would, give me the likes. I would really appreciate if you would like, subscribe to my channel. But yeah, I really need your help. If you really want this story, how to tell me how the story wants to go. Who do you want to have one for all? If you want, Kirishima or um Bakugo, or you want maybe, I don't know, Lita, or one of, or Momo Yaoyorozu. And also, who do you want? Izuku. You know what? Who do you? Nope. I got that one in plan. You shouldn't. You ain't got to do that one. But yeah. Um. Also, I'm going to. I may have just posted this one, but I'm going to be posting part 4 to I'm going to be trying. I'm literally trying. It's very quiet in this house right now. This is just the perfect time for me to do it. I'm trying. I'm going to try and get part 4 out tomorrow. At least tomorrow, or if I get it out today, that's going to be perfect. Today, tonight, or tomorrow morning, where probably everyone is asleep. Because mostly everybody is just be up in the morning. I don't know what it is about my family, but we're, we can handle the night. We can literally be up all night. So, and morning till morning and up some more. So yeah. So just tell me what y'all would like, and I can try and get that done. And yeah, and also, like I said, please tell me if you like the intro or not, because you know I was trying to get something on my channel, and like I said, that 92%, 92, 94%. Come on, like, man. All right, yeah, yeah. See ya later. Y'all me out. I'll be, like I said, I'll be back. At least try to be back tomorrow. All right.